All right, here we are. What are we, Sunday 16th of April? Guessing? I think it's the 16th. Anyway, Sunday. It's about 7:45 in the morning, and out with the trusty dog. There he is. Back to my kind of favourite, well, one of my favourite spots here in East Fremantle, and I guess we're what are we, 5 days on now from the big D day, so diagnosis day on Tuesday this week. And holy hell, what a difference 5 days can make, or 4 days in my case. And you know, yesterday being the first Saturday, where non-work day, where I've actually been on the therapy, so we'll talk about that in a moment. But you know, reflecting on the first 3 days, or the first day in particular, where I think I've actually recorded a video about it. I was working from home that day, and I did a bit of an update in the morning, I think in the evening, but the Thursday is probably the most interesting day, and even the Friday. So that was the first 2 days where I was actually in at work, and actually in the office, surrounded by people, in an environment, I guess, where, you know, a typical office environment where, well, yeah, you're surrounded by everyone. So for me, there's normally 1,000,001 distractions. You've got people sitting directly behind me, directly in front of me, off to either side, and there's noisy fucking air conditioning vents, and you know, all kinds of extra stimulation going on. But I guess my key observation from those 2 days would be the fact that, you know, I took the medication, I guess, you know, roughly an hour before I landed in the office. So by the time I got there, pretty much I think it had kicked in. Certainly I could feel it kicking in a sense that it felt like when it initially comes on, and that's even though I'm on a fairly low dose, it kind of felt like for 10-15 minutes, kind of like I've had maybe 2 or 3 shots of coffee too many, in a sense that, you know, a couple of double shots. I know what coffee was like for me before. I now down to 1 a day. But yeah, so the initial bit of a buzz comes in, you feel a bit like you've had too many coffees, and then that just kind of peters out, and suddenly this, again, sense of calm kind of washes over. And you know, the people chatting around me, and the whole, again, environment that normally overstimulates the fuck out of me, seems to just tune out, or I seem to be able to tune out to it somehow. So that's, you know, seemingly over the last 2 days there, I think I was pretty productive. I managed to get through, well, there we go, I managed to get through everything I needed to do at work. I even managed to do some shit, or actually start some work that I've been sitting on, procrastinating about for a couple of weeks, things that are fairly important, but I was like, and they're pretty mundane, simple things, but managed to kick them off, get them started, set some wheels in motion. You know, I've worked for a fairly large organisation with quite a lot of people there, stakeholders and whatnot, and yeah, managed to do some stakeholder engagement and, you know, get some shit going. So, you know, very curious to see. Now I've now got 2 more days off, today being Sunday, and I don't work Monday, so I've got 2 more days back at work on Tuesday. So feel strange saying it, but I'm actually fucking looking forward to getting back into the office, which I don't think I could ever have said before. Go figure. Walking along this track, I'm going to wander over, I don't know if you can see it in the camera there, maybe it's behind me. I'm going to wander over to that little kind of hill there, and you can kind of see there is a rainbow. And I thought, it's a bit of a rainy old kind of day today, there's a few grey storm clouds around, but look at that fucking awesome spot in East Freo. I'm going to wander over there because that hill is wicked, and I want to feature that. So yeah, right, so they say, according to the folklore or the fairy tale or whatever it might be, that I guess at the bottom of every rainbow, you know, you may find a pot of gold. And lucky that here, you know, in East Fremantle area where I live, that we have a rainbow every fucking day of the week. There it is. So I guess for me, that my analogy is that my pot of gold is actually my probably corny, but my pot of gold is actually, it's fucking corny now, come to think of it, but again, taking the significance of the moment and the week that I had this week, but my pot of gold would happen to be, in my case, my little fucking jar of Vyvanse. So again, they're only teeny tiny little pills, but they are a fucking pot of gold. So again, teeny tiny pills, and at the moment they're only 20 milligrams, but by fuck do they make a world of difference. So a second ago I was talking about you know, how I was able to kind of be at work for a couple of days and the usual kind of distraction that I normally have. A lot of it was still there, but a big part of it though had somehow been, you know, muted out. So muted out in the sense that I could somehow just not have it distract me as much as it might have done previously, and I was even able to get on with doing some shit that I've been struggling to get started. So I've certainly, you know, completed some of that work, and even getting started on some of it, which is some of the bigger, probably more priority stuff. Fuck me, lo and behold, it's on its way. So yes, can't wait to see what next week at work looks like. Again, I'm going to get away from this corny rainbow. It is pretty fucking cool though. I don't know of any other places in Australia or maybe even around the world that have something that's so funky. But right, another corny analogy that just kind of hit me just after having spoken about the pots of gold. And the other analogy might be silver linings. And I guess, you know, the dark cloud in my case being previous to Wednesday this week, life and whatnot with undiagnosed and untreated ADHD challenges. Is that, my wife says I fucking talk way too much about ADHD, but again, I'm having this conversation with her last night about it. In fact, that do we feel like I'm putting too much emphasis on it? And I guess probably for the moment I am, because it's, you know, this thing that I've still got an absolute obsession over, and I don't think it's, you know, I don't think, to be honest, I'm any different to probably anyone else who's recently discovered, probably at my age, you know, late 40s, approaching 50, that is, after living your whole life not knowing, suddenly finding out. Every waking minute, to be honest, I do think about it. So actually, one curious observation too, silver linings, and I guess the dark cloud being me with untreated ADHD. At the minute, it's getting on to probably up past 8 o'clock in the morning, and I've been out with this dog. There you are, Barney. I've been out with the dog for a while now, and I just remembered I haven't actually had my pills today. So I will be getting home at some stage, and I will be taking those because I need to get one in me, because hey, what's the point of going on in life now that I know I can have the shit? Not the shit, but the pot of gold. There's my rainbow. Now that I know I can actually, you know, enjoy, and I've found my pot of gold, and there's my dark cloud, and there's the silver linings. Continue my walk so I can tell a bit more of an anecdote or a story, and then get home and get into the rest of the day. All right, here we are, standing on top of that hill that I spoke about a moment ago. I've popped the sunnies on too, because the sun is right fucking there, right behind the camera, and it's hurting the old eyes. But anyway, standing on this hill in this awesome spot here in Fremantle, looking down over, in East Fremantle, looking down over Fremantle, which is my neighbourhood and my backyard, and it's just up the road from the pot of gold, or even down the road from the pot of gold and the figurative actual rainbow that exists every day here in our suburb. So you just wanted to talk more about, one, the fact that I'm running purely as Troy at the moment today. So I do need to get home and open my pot of gold and get into the thing that's inside there. But thinking about that has made me reflect on the conversation I had with my psychiatrist this week, in terms of, you know, he prescribed the medication, and he said, fill it in straight away. This is on Tuesday. He said, on the way home today, take your script to the chemist. It's an e-script. First time I've ever used one of those, but e-scripts are cool. Don't have to worry about losing bits of paper, but I can worry about deleting the text message. Anyway, that's another problem I'll have to try and deal with, or avoid doing. But yeah, his advice was basically, here's the medication, start you off on 20 milligrams per day Vyvanse. His advice was, you know, got to get your brain used to it, and all that. So his advice was, don't take it tomorrow, so Wednesday or Thursday or Friday, but leave it until Saturday. And I'm like, okay, yep, sure, fine, but in the back of my mind in that conversation that day I was like, that's going to be a fucking challenge. And sure enough, good old impulsive can't wait Troy couldn't wait till Saturday, so woke up Wednesday morning, and I've already done a video about Wednesday, but I hopped fucking straight into it. And again, yes, is that, you know, one, you should obey your doctors or listen to what your doctor tells you, but by all means you don't need to, but I guess the advice is that you should. But that's something I've, you know, listening to people's advice, whether it's just me or whether it's a common thing, yeah, listening to people's advice is quite difficult quite often, and it's not something I was able to do, and there we go. So I'm now on day 5 today, or will be soon on day 5 with the Vyvanse, only 20 milligrams. I'll be on 20 milligrams for the first 2 weeks, and then we'll go up to 30 milligrams from there. So I'm very curious, and again, don't like waiting, but I will wait, because I have to wait, because I can't get the next script handed out until another week and a half. So again, yes, can't wait to see what that feels like, or what that part of the journey then unveils for me. Anyway, rambling again, got to my hill, which is pretty much the end of my walk, and maybe I'll talk to you in a minute when I've actually got that pot of gold in my hand. All right, here we are at home now, and busy for 20 minutes just fossicking about at home, and I was like, oh fuck, I still haven't had my little pot of gold. So about to take one of those, my 120 milligram tab for the day. There it is, and beautiful. All right. Right, here we are again, a couple of hours on from the walk that I was doing with the dog earlier today. And anyway, I've just been standing in line at the Vietnamese shop waiting for the food to be prepared and made ready for me and whatnot, and reflecting on how it's been a couple of hours now since I took the medication, really, in terms of, I had it this morning, and you know, I can certainly say that I've been feeling it across the day today. I can feel it, you know, kicking in within an hour or so of first taking it this morning, and from having had it this morning, I can feel it, and it's just amazing, like today being a weekend where I don't really have any distraction of work and whatnot to kind of keep myself busy and keep myself occupied. I've had a lot of extra time today, I guess, from that to kind of spend time with the family and time with the wife and, you know, my son Oscar, and we've just been for a lovely walk at a park on the other side of the river behind me here. We actually walked along that riverbank there. Actually, there's a lovely path over there in Mosman Park, so my neck of the woods at the moment. But, you know, reflecting and chatting to the wife a lot on that chat about just, you know, the last few days and what I've been kind of feeling today, and the difference between a work day versus a weekend, and shot off down to Fremantle now to quiet time on my own to kind of contemplate and kind of assess, you know, how do I actually feel today. And it's interesting. So one of the things the doctor said to me the other day was to his recommendation and suggestion was to, you know, leave the medication until, I guess, the weekend, so start on Saturday, whereas impulsive me, impatient me, couldn't actually wait. So I did actually take it on Wednesday. So I've had a few days at work on it, and it's made a hell of a difference there already, even on a very small dose. And yesterday I had a pretty busy day, even on it again at home, doing a bunch of things around the house, and kept quite busy, but I haven't really had a lot of kind of idle time where I can kind of just, you know, allow myself to be present with myself. And I guess I'm standing there, and anyway, so getting back to today, I'm standing there in the line at the Vietnamese store with some earpods on, listening to some music while I'm waiting, and a song came on by Sia, and it was the song Unstoppable. And I don't know, there's something about, I mean, I've heard that song fucking 100 times. I've probably, you know, for some reason I've had it on loop in the background for the last few days, and even laid on the couch and listened to it a couple of times last night after having a few glasses of wine and whatnot. But I'm standing in line today at the shop, and I'm actually listening to the lyrics of that song today, and fuck me, from listening to the first opening line, sorry, I'm thinking this song's about fucking mental health issues. And sure enough, I'm listening to it, I pick up the phone out of my pocket and start researching this here, and I kind of had a vague memory of, you know, her publicly letting people know that she had. But then I'm, you know, standing there listening to that music while I'm researching, I've got fucking tears running down my face. So, I mean, the lyrics of that song are just like so poignant. And I guess the point that I'm trying to make is, you know, she talks about, I'll put my armor on and I'll show you who I am. And me, the armor is, well, the armor for me is this fucking medication. And fuck me, it's amazing. The difference I feel today compared to a normal Sunday where I'm just kind of like floating along, not really feeling anything, just kind of like present but still distant. But I'm fucking seeing, today, I'm seeing the world in a totally different way. I'm standing there at the street, I can just acknowledge and visually see people, I can see the enjoyment people are having, and I can feel myself even, you know, having enjoyment. Just the simple little things, like it's just, before I just take them all for granted and not even give them a second thought. But again, getting back to see a song, the lyrics in that song, I mean, I've never in my life, I don't believe, have I ever really truly listened, been able to listen, because I've got so much fucking radio chatter and noise going on in my head, 10 different songs playing at once. But I can actually listen now. And, you know, I'll have to catch up in a minute. I can't remember what the lyrics are, but, you know, put my sunglasses on and I'll show you as a way of protection. She put the sunglasses on to kind of hide who she is and protect herself. I know I've talked about that to myself before around wearing glasses and the jealousy and the protectionist kind of element that I guess that gives people, gives me even. Don't need batteries today. Well, again, I certainly don't think I need batteries. I mean, this fucking stuff that I've got on now, mate, it's my suit of armour. The Vyvanse, it's amazing shit. Anyway, I'm gonna stop that now, but I'll come back to this soon. To be continued. And so one thing that I forgot to mention too, just in that video when I'm standing there before, and it's totally escaped my mind until I just remembered it now that I've sat back in the car. So anyway, I waited for the lunch to be served or be prepared, and it was eventually handed out. In the meantime, I'm still standing there listening to that song on loop by Sia. Tears still rolling down my face, and you know, I had a quick, they gave me the food was ready, called out my name, and I grabbed it and started walking back to the car. So it was like a 2 or 3 minute walk. So I listened to the song again in the car, and the reflection that I was able to do in the words of that song, and I guess what they mean to me, became fucking so overwhelming. And I guess the thing that I was most surprised by was when I sat in the car in my protection, so my glasses on, and the car's got tinted windows, so it's a bit like glasses. I just fucking burst into hysterical tears, screamed at the top of my head inside the car. A scream of fucking just immense relief. You know, I've put my armor on, I feel unstoppable. Today, I mean, that's today for me. Like, it's a day that's just for me. I don't have any of the clutter of work and any of all that shit to get in my way. And getting back to the point that I was trying to make at the start of this video is, the doctor told me the other day, this is the point, here we go, it's just come back to me. My doctor told me the other day, is like, my suggestion is you don't start the medication until the weekend. Now, again, I was impatient and I started on Wednesday and had a busy day yesterday, but I can now kind of get an understanding of what he might have been. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I suspect the awareness, I guess, that he might have had is like, Troy, when you've got a day where you're actually just a day to yourself and just the quietness of a normal day, a weekend type day, some of this stuff that I've been feeling in the last hour in terms of, holy fuck, is this what life is like? You know, he maybe was trying to protect me from, I guess, having that shit come out while you're at work, when you're not in the protection of and the quietness and comfort of your own environment. Because shit, yeah, what I've felt in the last half an hour in terms of the emotional outburst, and there's just this scream of relief, and that's what it was. You'd think that I'd been fucking squashed by a steamroller, but it really was a scream of sheer relief. Holy fuck me. I don't need batteries. I feel like I'm just fucking fully charged today. Anyway, so I just needed to remind myself of that, because I know I'll forget. And that's just one of the most meaningful fucking moments of my current life. Anyway, I'm going to start the car in a minute and listen to Sia's song again on the way home, and then I'll eat my lunch. I'll talk to you later. I'm crying in a good way, so don't be worried. I'm fucking feeling amazing. Like, you would not believe how I feel. What a fucking relief. Good luck, everyone. All the best.